you haven't been living under a rock, then you would know by now that Ubisoft has been under fire lately. Ubisoft has been under fire due to the latest controversy with their latest game, Assassin's Creed, that is set to release in February of 2025. It was supposed to come out this year, holiday season, but due to a lot of the drama surrounding the game, they had to push it back. Now it seems that Ubisoft is in more trouble. Apparently, Ubisoft might cut staff by 40% or around 8,000 people amid rumors of the buyout. So there's been rumors and reports that Ubisoft is going to sell their whole property to either Tencent, which is a Chinese-owned gaming company, but I think they are involved with other media besides gaming. I'm not 100% sure on that. I would have to do the research. All of this is coming at a time where the gaming industry is in, I don't want to say bad shape, but it's looking kind of shaky. Recently, Sony had a flop with Concord, which lost them over $400 million. They spent $400 million on that game and they had to refund it because nobody was playing it. And there was a lot of drama with that. A lot of these gaming companies have been cutting their employee staff and getting rid of workers, firing people, because apparently they haven't been making enough money. But a lot of the CEOs and executives on the top, they end up getting all these bonuses that can actually be used to pay off their staff. But the gaming business in general has become more about business and making money than actually making great games that people want to play. Now, there's certain companies that drop hits every now and then. You know, you get games like Black Myth Wukong, which despite all the controversy with that game, sold like 20 million copies. They've been killing it. You get a lot of games that have been successful, and it's because they are making games that people want to play. Ubisoft, I'm going to be honest with you, I have never really cared for Ubisoft. I played Assassin's Creed Part 1. I brought Assassin's Creed 3, which I enjoyed that game. I liked it. The one Assassin's Creed game that I really wanted to play that I never had a chance to was Black Flag. So it's not like I have so much experience with Assassin's Creed, but I enjoyed Assassin's Creed as a franchise, and I was always interested when they had new games coming out. I didn't get into the one, I think it was called Valhalla, and the Egypt one, because they started changing what Assassin's Creed was about, making it more like an RPG, level scaling enemies to match your level. Like, to me, Assassin's Creed was about the parkour, the stealth, trying to tackle missions in different ways. Like, you could do it this way, like Hitman. Always the emphasis on stealth and combat. I don't like the fact that they turned it to an RPG and your damage doesn't really kill an enemy. You have to be strong. I didn't like that. It was like an artificial grind they implemented in Assassin's Creed games. I was a big fan of Tom Clancy series. Like, I love the Rainbow Six series. I never had a chance to play Splinter Cell. That was another series I was looking forward to that I may go back and play the old games when I get a chance. And I believe they also did Prince of Persia. I didn't play the new one, but I enjoyed the first Prince of Persia games on the PlayStation 1 and 2. Other than that, like, I wasn't really into Ubisoft games like that, not into Watch Dogs. To me, Ubisoft always felt cookie cutter and generic. Like, some of their games look beautiful, like the Far Cry series looks beautiful. I never got into that either, which I should, because I heard the first original games were good. I was never really on the Ubisoft bandwagon like that. To me, their games were lacking something. The gameplay felt generic, and a lot of their games after, I believe, Watch Dogs ended up being similar. Like, they all got the same formula. There's no creativity. So that really turned me off from Ubisoft. I was looking forward to Assassin's Creed Shadows because I was always thinking that, yo, if they were to make a Japanese ninja type of Assassin's Creed game, that would be a home run. If you was to ask anybody that's an Assassin's Creed fan, they would tell you they were looking forward to a Japanese Assassin's Creed that would implement ninjas and stuff like that, because it makes perfect sense. But when they released the trailer for Assassin's Creed, it immediately turned people off. They ended up taking a real character, Yasuke, which was a black man that lived in Japan at that time period, and they turned him into a samurai. If you know history, then you know that Yasuke was never a samurai. I don't know too much about him, but from what I've learned and researched, he wasn't really a samurai. So they just took a real person and created this fake story around him to fit their narrative. And a lot of people were upset, especially the Japanese audiences, because if you're gonna do a story in Japan, why not give us some original good Japanese characters? They made the female a Japanese character, and that's another thing that's also been an issue lately with not just Ubisoft, but games in general. The fact that they would like to replace characters that are usually male with females. Now look, I don't have no issue with female characters. Like I love Lara Croft, Jill Valentine. You know, there's a lot of iconic female characters in video games. The argument that, oh, you're a sexist because you don't like playing as a female character. No, that's not the problem. The problem is when you do the bait and switch. Like, for example, what they're doing with Ghost of Tsushima, basically replacing Jin Sakai with a female character, which that doesn't necessarily mean the game is going to be horrible, right? It also goes back to this whole woke thing. You know, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding all these different properties and entertainment companies with woke ideology being at the forefront of their properties. My whole thing with it, the way where I stand on this, bro, there's nothing bad with having a message, right? Sometimes having a message is a good thing. But when you make the sole purpose of your property and product the message, that's where the issue comes, because you're not focused on actually making the best product that you can make, telling the best story that you can tell. You're focused more on the message, and then everything else comes secondary. And I believe when you go that route, you are not giving us, the paying customers, the best possible product that you can possibly give. And it's not entertaining. Now, there's some examples of games and movies that have woke things in it that didn't really matter or it wasn't bad. For example, The Last of Us 2. A lot of people hated The Last of Us 2 because of what happened. Spoiler alert. If you haven't played that game, then I would suggest you skip this part. They killed the main character, Joel, who we played as in the first game, who we loved, and then they gave us the bait and switch. We had to play as his killer. The problem was the story. People hated that story, and it was like a slap in the face to the fans. You get what I'm saying? But the game itself was amazing. Like the gameplay, the graphics. So it's like you can have woke things in certain properties and it can still be good. But it's just, people are sick of it already. We don't want to be preached to, right? Ubisoft has had a lot of these policies in their company. They wanted to have they had this internship and it was only for females. They wanted to exclude males. Like there's a lot of bullshit going on with this company. So it's only right that, you get what you sow.
Get what you fucking deserve.
You get what you deserve, bro. As fans of things, people that spend money, if we see something we don't like, we're not going to spend money. And this is what it's supposed to be about. They don't care about making money no more. They care about the message, right? So the fact that Ubisoft is going to have to cut 40% of their staff is not looking really good. I want to get into this article real quick. A rumor from Bloomberg's Vinci Chan, Dong Cao, and Benoit Berthelot claims that Tencent Holdings and the Gourmet family are considering options, including a potential buyout of the French video game developer after it lost more than half its market value this year, according to the people familiar with the matter. The report added the Chinese tech company and Gourmet brothers have been speaking with advisors to help explore ways to stabilize Ubisoft and bolster its value, the people said. Asked not to be identified discussing a private matter. One of the possibilities being discussed would involve teaming up to take the company private, according to the people. This rumor comes in the wake of investment firm AJ Holdings calling for Ubisoft to be sold and taken in private. In an open letter addressed to the Ubisoft board, CEO Yves Gourmet, Tencent, and the Gourmet family holding in the middle of September, the company stated, "Take the company private for fair price. We urge the board to consider taking Ubisoft private, with Tencent as a significant partner and shareholder. Ubisoft as a public company is under ongoing scrutiny to report better and better quarterly results to please investors, which may harm strategy going forward and is harming Ubisoft at this time, when they need to think long-term to get new air into the exceptional franchises." Furthermore, it noted, if Gourmet and Tencent are not interested in Ubisoft value, we urge the current management not to block any takeover, as there are several PE groups that would be interested based on our research. In the event of offer from a PE group or strategic investor, we urge Gourmet family to accept this bid. When this bid will be for fair price, if this offer won't be accepted, we will sue for reimbursement of damages. The investment firm made this call after it accused the Gourmet family's Tencent of discounting potential value of Ubisoft in order to buy more shares at lower valuation and eventually take full control of the company at heavily discounted valuation. It specifically stated, in our view, recent delays of certain titles are creating uncertainty amongst investors, is beneficial for Gourmet and Tencent in order to acquire more shares at even discounted valuation, as Ubisoft is currently trading close to $15 euro per share, lowest point share since 2015, giving Ubisoft valuation less than 2 billion euros. Gourmet brothers, who are respected entrepreneurs in France, best know the value of Ubisoft and its distribution agreements they have have with Tencent and Activision Blizzard. So we assume they may use this as a tactic to get minority shareholders under the stress. So what this seems like is basically the share owners, which is Tencent and the Gumei brothers. Again, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing it right. They are using the excuse that Ubisoft has had so many flops lately and it's not looking good. The stock prices is down and they're just trying to buy the rest of the company for a discounted price. Now, I've seen rumors somewhere that the reason why they have been failing so much may have been because of Tencent actually implementing some of these policies that have caused them to fail. I don't know how true that is, but that was a rumor that basically they did this on purpose so they could buy out Ubisoft and then own all their properties. And I don't know how I feel about that. I don't want Tencent to own Ubisoft. Like, as much as I'm not a fan of Ubisoft, I don't want them to fail. I just want them to get better. Like the Assassin's Creed property is a great property. It's a great franchise. Splinter Cell. Like, I don't want these franchises to go away. I just want them to get better, bro. And I want them to learn from their mistakes, right? Again, they could have had a hit if they just simply would have went about things differently with Assassin's Creed Shadows. As it stands, this was a game that I would have spent money on. I would have gotten it, and it would have been the first Assassin's Creed I would have had since part 3. But, with all the BS that's going on, I don't even want to get this game. Honestly, why? I'd rather go back to play Ghost of Tsushima, or I'd rather even play Ghost of Tsushima Part 2. I don't even care that it's a female character. I know the game, hopefully, will be good as the first one, or even better. Also, Ubisoft is doing horrible because they flopped with their latest game, Star Wars Bounty Hunters, I believe it was called, which you would think when you put the name Star Wars in front of a property that is going to do well. But lately, even Star Wars as like a movie company, TV shows haven't been doing that well, right? That's because the same problems happening with Ubisoft is happening everywhere, bro. These people don't care about giving us good entertainment. They care more about their message. It all started with The Last Jedi. I'm not even going to go on a tangent right now because I was a big Star Wars fan of the older shit. None of the shit that Disney put out, I'm not a fan of. Probably, I would say Rogue One. That was the best Star Wars property under Disney. Rogue One, the first season of The Mandalorian, and the Jedi Survivor games. That's it. Everything else, I don't even care no more because they turned me off because the shit has been whack. It's been trash. I couldn't even get into the Obi-Wan series. The Ubisoft Star Wars game, it flopped. The whole shit with taking the female character, making her uglier for no reason. Like, I don't understand that. That's not just something that Ubisoft does. Sony has been doing it lately. Other companies have been doing it lately where they will take a face scan of a model that's beautiful and then the game character, they make them look uglier on purpose. Like, why? Why they want to appease other people? So these ugly people don't get their feelings hurt that a video game character looks beautiful? I don't get that shit. That's stupid. But what really set Ubisoft back was the beginning of the year, Skull and Bones. I think they lost up to $500 million with that game. So it's been back-to-back L's for Ubisoft, and now it's all culminating with them having to fire 40% of their workforce, and I don't see this ending well for Ubisoft, man. Time will tell what will happen with them, but again, in the famous words of the Joker,
Get what you fucking deserve!
can't put it any better than that. But if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know. Drop a like, leave a comment. I'm going to do a lot more videos like this on this channel, not just gameplays and let's plays and live streams. I really want this channel to be all about gaming, news, and reviewing things. So if you guys look forward to that, if I'm doing a good job providing information and entertaining y'all, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, your boy, we off this.